Vox and King Beau, Part 2, The Quiet Place. Before everything, there was the quiet place. It was very dark and very quiet, and everything there was still. The quiet place had a nasty king who stole breath and hated everything that wasn't in his kingdom. All beings in the quiet place lived in fear and sadness. They couldn't even leave, because their king would hunt them down and eat them if they tried. Even worse, the king would have them sneak into our world and steal things. They would steal voices or memories, shiny things and toys, sometimes hearts and even people. Some of them liked this, but most of them didn't. Beau hated the king. He hated being sad. He hated everyone else being scared. Because even though he was never scared of anything, it meant that no one would ever play with him or do anything but what the king wanted. He decided the only way to solve his problem was to become king himself. This is the part where I start to understand why my mom wanted to talk to a doctor about me. Beau decided he had to trick the king. He stole a little boy who had been bad and always ate too many snacks and never minded his manners. Beau hid under the boy's bed and waited till he was asleep before he ate the boy's voice. He then crawled inside the boy's skin and waited till the king let him in with all the other treasures the hunters had found. Apparently, Beau showed me how he cried and screamed and mimicked the boy's voice perfectly. Even then, when he was telling me this made me cry, and Beau had to stop telling the story so we could play another game. However, he really wanted to finish his story because he was so very proud. So later, I let him tell me the rest. When the king moved to eat the little boy that was now Beau, Beau made his move. He crawled right into the jaws of the tyrant and reached down his throat. Then Beau pulled out all the voices that had been festering away inside, and he ate them all for himself. After stealing that power, it was no problem to defeat the king. He said the old king began to melt and warp. He twisted up and dried up in some places, and would have screamed, except he had no more voices left. Beau banished him to the deepest, darkest corner of the quiet place, where he could not scream away from everyone else. So Beau became king, but Beau was still not happy. Even though he had all of the king's voices, and everyone had to do as he said now that he was king, he was lonely. He got bored. Everything was the same in the quiet place. And though he promised the shadow people and all the other creatures that they would never have to hunt for him, he was growing restless. He felt all the voices inside of him and wondered what fresh ones might be like. So he started to wander our world. First, he would only steal little bits of voices at a time while people slept. He'd slip from under their beds or crawl in through their windows if there was no moonlight. They'd only wake up with sore throats and bad dreams, so no one would really be hurt. Unfortunately, this only made him hungrier. The more time went on, the unhappier he was with just a little taste. He thought about stealing voices, just like the bad king before him had done. This is how he and I met. One night, I woke up because someone said my name. The whole room was dark and very quiet because he had brought the silence with him. Next to my bed, there was Beau. He was really scary looking, but he also looked really sad. At the time, my favorite movie was Peter Pan, and I remembered how Wendy met Peter, sort of like this. So I tried to make myself brave. I asked, "Why do you look so sad?"
"Because I want to eat your voice,"
he said. I told him he couldn't because I was using it. He said he knew I was. He listened to me sing to my stuffed animals and he liked it very much. I told him that if he didn't eat my voice, I would sing to him too. This had never occurred to him, and he decided to consider it. While he considered it, we played forts. He liked that so much, he decided to let me keep my voice and visit to play with me. That's how we became friends. He would bring me back stories of his adventures, and I would sing to him and play. So I guess that's a start. I could tell you about Beau in the Dark Place. That one's a little less heartwarming little girl story, and a lot more. I told my mom about it because I couldn't stop having nightmares.